Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be filming this green smoky eye for you, and I was just playing around with some of the new Makeup Geek Duo Chrome eyeshadows and I was dying to use the green tones. There's Ritzy and there's Havoc, so I came up with this look, which I think is great for a night out. It's very much a glamorous party look, even a festive look if you like. So if you want to see how I created this look, then just keep watching. So I've already got my brows on, and for that I used the Anastasis Beverly Hills Brow Wiz in the shade medium brown, and I set them in place using the Loreal Brow Artist Plumper. And for my base, first of all, I prime my skin with the Makeup Forever Step 1 Skin Equalizer, and this is the smoothing primer. And then for my foundation, I used the mix of the Loreal Infallible Pro Matte in the shade 104 and the Too Faced Born This Way foundation in the shade Natural Beige. And I've already primed my eyes, and I just used a little bit of concealer, and I just used the Urban Decay Naked Skin one. I'm just going to go in and provide a nice even base with the Makeup Geek eyeshadow in the shade Vanilla Bean, and I'm literally taking that onto the lid from the lash line all the way up to the brow bone. For my transition shade, I'm going to be going in with the Makeup Geek eyeshadow in the shade Creme Brulee, and I'm going to take that on a fluffy blending brush straight into the crease. And I always like to work most of the colour on the outer corner and then pull the brush inwards. Then I'm going to move on to the lid colour, and today we're going to go for an all green lid. Well, kind of an all green lid. We're going to have a little bit of warm tones in the crease, but on the actual mobile part of the lid we're going to go in with greens. And the first green we're going to go in with is Makeup Geek's Duo Chrome eyeshadow in the shade Ritzy, which is this shade right here. And I've done a kind of first impressions review type video on the Makeup Geek Duo Chrome eyeshadows, so I'll link that down below if you haven't yet seen that. And I'm going to apply that on the inner half of the eyelid. And this is probably less green than you think it is, because it's got kind of reddish brown tones in it and a bit of gold in there as well. So it just kind of makes the colour a lot more wearable. Now on the outer part of the lid, I am going to go in with a kind of more teal brown green shade. This colour is called Havoc. And then start working that green onto the outer half of the lid. This has brown in it as well, so kind of makes the shadow again very kind of wearable, not too kind of garish and bright. I mean, colours like that can be quite intimidating. I think I might actually try a bit of Fix Plus and see whether I can amp these colours up a little bit. Going back into Ritzy, so that first colour we worked with on the lid. And wow, you can see that that green is definitely glowing now. Definitely gives that kind of more wet foiled effect when the shadows are wet. Flip that brush around the other side, a bit more Fix Plus, and I'm going to go in with the shade Havoc. So then I'm going to start working on the crease and work on smoothing that eyeshadow out. And I'm going to go in with Makeup Geek's Cocoa Bear, which is a really kind of warm mid-tone brown. I'm going to start working that in from the outer half of the crease. Then going back in with the same brush that you used to apply the transition colour, I am going to start blending out Cocoa Bear into Creme Brulee, just so there's a bit more of a soft gradient going on, and there's not really a kind of a harsh line from where one eyeshadow ends and the other one starts. And then I'm going to go in with an even darker colour in the outer V, and I'm going to use this shade Steampunk, also another duochrome eyeshadow from Makeup Geek, and it's kind of neutral metallic dark brown. It's got black in it as well, so at certain angles it looks quite dark. joining it up with the corner of the lash line. And as you can see, it starts to kind of really smoke out the look. I'm going to go back into Cocoa Bear and I'm going to smooth out and blend in Steampunk. When you're working with dark colours, you kind of have to have a bit of patience. You want to make sure that it's also blended in with the transition shade. I've got about 3 different palettes open here. And if you need to, you can pick up a little bit more of that transition shade. With the transition shade Creme Brulee, and I'm just going to go in and clean up the outer corner. Might go in with a little bit of this kind of really scary bright yellow orangey shade, and it's also from Makeup Geek. It's a matte shadow called Chickadee, and I just really want to add a little bit of warmth in that kind of top area below the brow bone, just an ever so slight amount. And then I'm going to go in and curl my lashes, which are really struggling at the moment. Firstly, I'm going to tightline my waterline, and for that I'm going to be using the Makeup Forever Artist Liner, and this is in the black shade, and this is a brilliant liner for the waterline because it doesn't transfer. I'm going to do a bit of liner and maybe even a small wing, and for that I'm going to be using the Kat Von D Tattoo Liner in Trooper. I'm going to take a kind of dense flat brush and I'm going to go in with some matte black eyeshadow, and the one I have here is Makeup Geek Corrupt, and I'm just going to take it and start blending on top of that liner that I just placed down, because I really want to smoke out this liner to give that kind of soft, hazy, smoky look to the eyes. Then I'm going to go in with some mascara before applying some false lashes, and for that I'm going to be using the Makeup Forever Aqua Smoky Lash. I'm going to put some false lashes on now, and you can use any. The one I'm using are a pair that I picked up on eBay from Hong Kong, and they're kind of mink lashes. Now that I've got the lashes on, sometimes I find that you can actually see the overall eye look better, and you can actually see where you might need a bit more shadow. I'm just going to go back and add a little bit more depth in the outer V, just to really kind of intensify it even more. Moving on to concealing the under eyes. For that I'm going to be using the Urban Decay Naked Skin Weightless Complete Coverage Concealer, and I'm using the shade Light Neutral. Set that quickly in place using the Mercier Secret Brightening Powder, which I am completely almost out of. Now that we've got concealer down, I can move on and start finishing off the eyes. I'm basically going to mimic what is going on with the top lid. So in the inner half I'm going to place the shade Ritzy. And then on the outer half, I'm going to go in with the shade Havoc. And then with a smaller pencil brush, I'm going to go in with the shade Steampunk, which is that really dark black and brown. And just go in with the shade Corrupt along the lash line, but just on the outermost part of the lash line. Then I'm going to go in with the MAC Extended Play Gigablack Lash Mascara. I'm going to just coat my bottom lashes. Right, then moving on to concealing the rest of the face, I'm going to be using the Urban Decay Naked Skin Concealer, but in the shade Medium Light Neutral. And this shade is slightly more closer to the rest of my skin tone, whereas the shade I use under my eyes is just a bit lighter because I tend to like to go a bit brighter under the eyes. And as you can see, I'm blending it out with a beauty blender. Sorry, I just kind of got into the zone and forgot to talk. Then I'm going to set that all in place using the Mercier translucent loose setting powder. This is new to me, so I'm really excited about using it. I'm going to move on to contouring, and for that I'm going to be using the contour shade from the Smashbox contour palette, which is this kind of grey tone brown. And I take any excess product down along my jawline, kind of up my temples as well. And I'm also going to take some of that contour powder down the length of my nose, just to make it appear a bit more slimmer than it is. I like to take a bit more of a fluffy brush and just kind of sweep over it, just to take any excess product off the nose and make it look a bit kind of softer and more like a natural shadow rather than I've just drawn two lines down the side of my nose. Time to bronze up the face, and I'm going to be using the Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow. Then for my highlight, of course I'm going to be using the highlight shade from the same palette, and this is a beautiful light golden champagne shade. I'll take that along the tops of my cheekbone where the light will naturally kind of hit. For my inner corner highlights, I really want to go for a really kind of bright, intense gold. So I'm going to be using this shade, and this is from the Carly Bible Color Eyeshadow and Highlight Palette. Now I think I'm going to add a little bit of a shimmery highlight to the brow bone as well, and I'm going to take the highlight shade from the Charlotte Tilbury palette. And for my blush, I'm going to be using the Colourpop Super Shock Cheek in the shade Birthday Suit. And I think because we've got quite an intense eye going on, maybe we should try a bit more of a neutral lip. The one I have here is the Rimmel Moisture Renew Notting Hill Nude, and I featured this recently in my favourite drugstore nude lipsticks video. If you haven't watched that video, I will link that down below for you, but this is definitely one of my favourite colours from the drugstore. And then to set that all in place, I'm going to be using my Urban Decay De-Slick Makeup Setting Spray. I don't actually think there's anything in it. Okay, one squirt. Okay. Definitely nothing left. And this is the finished look, guys. I hope you enjoyed watching me create this smoky green-eyed look. Leave some comments down below and let me know your thoughts on it, and if you've got any ideas of any looks that you'd like to see here on my channel, then I'm all ears. And if you haven't yet subscribed to my channel, then please do, and hopefully I'll see you in the next video. Bye.